Hey, this is John from JC Rock and Metal Reviews. I'm here with Brian from AYBL Maine. And continuing in our top 10 series, today we're talking about the Foo Fighters. So we each have a top 10 list. Pretty fun list to do. So I guess let me jump right into it.
Sure.
I'll do my number 10. So my number 10 is Monkey Wrench from The Color and the Shape. I like this. You're gonna be seeing that I do kind of like a lot of the kind of like the faster, heavier stuff. The ones that are kind of following, you know, the stuff he did in Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I like that. It's fast. It kind of has like a nice heavy riff, nice sound. I like the vocals because you know he does those like screams like towards the end of the song.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that part about it, and it's cool. I like the lyrics. You know, like you know. I won't be your monkey wrench, and I don't know. I guess my interpretation is like, you know, I won't let other people, you know, use me or take advantage of me. That's kind of how I understood it. But anyway, cool song, Color and Shape from 1997.
That's a good choice.
Cool.
It was in there. It was kind of in the mix there a little bit for me. Okay. I got at number 10. I've got from One on One. I've got Times Like This. Times like Times Like These. Yeah, I like it because it's got that weird, very interesting time signature with the guitar that starts off like very early in the song. I think they call it a Mixolydian style beat. It's like 7/4 time signature. It's very odd, and I thought it was really interesting though. I really enjoyed the track. I'm not going to lean a lot toward the heavier stuff, but man, sometimes like the guitar work is so good, and I'll get into a song later on that I thought the guitar work was so good and the drumming was so good that it's a song that like really moved up the charts for me. You know, I at first I thought mine was going to be dominated by the ballady stuff, but it's not. I actually got quite a few really good rocking tunes in here. This is going to be the first of those. So Times Like These from One on One.
Yeah, that's definitely a great one. Actually, you will be seeing that on my list, and I like that album a lot. One by One.
Yeah,
that's a really good album. Okay, so my number 9. This is the one I changed at the last minute. From their first album, it's called Alone and Easy Target. This is really catchy song. It's the kind of song. Now I think a lot of these songs were written from the first album, that they were written like during the time of when Dave was in Nirvana. And I think this will be a kind of song that like if it was on the Nevermind album and Kurt Cobain sang it, I mean, they would just like fit perfectly. It just has the heavy guitars, the feedback, but it's also a catchy song. It's like a pop song. So it's one of those like stick in your head songs, but it also has that like old school Nirvana sound, you know, from that like Nevermind period. So that's why I changed it. Actually, the original one I was going to put was 4 Cows, which is a cool song from the. I don't know if you remember that one from the original. Yes. I kind of bumped that off the list and I changed it because that was one of those that did come up in a playlist this week, and I'm like, you know what, I gotta add that. So that's it. Yeah.
For number 9 for me, I kind of went. I think it's a little. I think it's a little bit of a deeper cut. I've got Stranger Things Have Happened.
Okay, from
it's kind of it's kind of a different song. It's actually off of the. I'm sorry, it's off the Echoes one.
Oh yeah, Echoes.
Yeah, it's off Echoes.
Silence, basically.
Yeah, I liked it because it's kind of talking about. It's just got a regular clock beat. It sounds like there's a clock ticking the entire song.
Yeah.
The drums. That's all you hear is this like the sticks just hitting, but basically like the end of the drum.
Yeah.
That's really kind of cool for me. It's just talking about a bad relationship. Yeah. And how lonely you can feel in those types of situations, almost lonelier than if you were all by yourself. And that clock ticking with the drum beat, it just makes it feel like that's how it is. Like in a bad relationship, it feels like things are just drawn out to where even like at the happiest of moments, you just can't wait to get them over with.
Yeah,
that's how bad they are. That's how bad the relationship is. That's how sour it's gone. That went a little bit deeper with that one. That's why I chose this song. I liked it.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that album a lot. I'll have to go back and like listen to that one. That one doesn't like the title doesn't like stick out to me, but I'm pretty sure I'll know it once I hear it. So that's a really cool. Okay, so we're up to number 8. So I chose Run from Concrete and Gold.
Wow.
This is a kind of a strange album, man, but I like this song because it's kind of strange because it starts off like a ballad, you think it's a soft song at all. But then once the verse kicks in, the drums are like really fast. The vocals are very like distorted, almost like industrial metal or like death metal, even like that. And just really heavy guitars, but it's one of those songs that kind of goes back and forth between like the really heavy parts and the soft parts. So I really like this one a lot. It's a pretty cool music video. They have great music videos.
Yeah, they do.
I think Dave Grohl has that like long wig. He's like an old man. But from this album, Concrete and Gold, and that's the only one I have from this album. That one really wasn't one of my favorites, like I did in my ranking. I ranked that one fairly low, but this song is a really standout for that album.
Number 8 for me, I've got My Hero, from the color and the shape. I know that's kind of, it feels like, that's kind of a convenient tune to have, but I actually thought it was very good. I like the anthemic style that they have. Sometimes you listen to their songs and you go, wow, this would fit really good on a movie soundtrack. And actually this song was actually, I think it was on Varsity Blues, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
it's been a long time since I've seen that movie, but I believe that's true. And because the song speaks really that the everyday man is kind of the hero, is what Grohl is kind of talking about, people who go out and work every day, or maybe your father who worked hard to raise you and stuff like that. Those are the types of heroes that you should be like, feeling good about in your life. And I like it. I like the anthemic guitars in it, and this really nice thunderous chorus that they have. It's a good song.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too. That one probably like just missed the cut for me. But yeah, so My Hero, that was from Color and the Shape, right?
Color and the Shape, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we're up to my number 7. This one I guess is a kind of a deeper cut, I guess. From Echo Silence, Patience and Grace, 2007. Come Alive. Kind of it's an acoustic, it's like a softer song. It's kind of has a different type of structure because it kind of like the first half of the song, like the entire like first, I guess it's like 2 minutes or so. It's just very soft acoustic, but then it kind of like picks in with like this like grunge like type of guitar riff. Then they have the power chords and like the heavier like second half of the song. So instead of doing like the quiet verse, heavy chorus, they kind of do first half is like very quiet, and then the second half is like very heavy. I thought that was really cool. Very catchy song, and so that's why I like it. Yeah, from Echo Silence, Patience and Grace. That's my number 7.
Yeah, I noticed that. I mean, when I got my number 7 here, I mean, I noticed what you just said, that they tend to build songs, a lot of the songs the same way, very softly.
Yeah.
And then they just build it right to this really heavy sound.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll dial it back and then go back to it again, but mostly it's very soft at the beginning, but once they go heavy, it's like Foo Fighters tend to stay heavy the rest of the song.
Yeah, it's not like when Dave was in Nirvana, their songs were a lot more like formulaic. It was like, the soft chorus, like Kurt Cobain had like the distortion pedal. So he would be like the clean guitar in the verse, then the distortion in the chorus, and then the clean guitar in the verse. But yeah, like Foo Fighters, they do kind of like mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I got number 7. I've got their bookend track. I've got Walk. I thought it was the end of the Wasting Light, right? I believe that's the name of that. That's like that's like my favorite album. I don't think I have anything past Wasting Light, by the way. It's a bookend track. It closes out. What I really liked about it was when they did change, they had a slow build, but when they did change, it's this really nice gritty guitar and like this, and then the drums are there with this nice 4/4 time signature, and the transitions and the drumming for this. I don't know whether Dave played the drums probably particularly on this track instead of Hawkins. I'd be interested to go back and look at that again, but the transitions on the drumming are just really, really tight. You can tell that Dave, whether or not he did the drumming or not, he was always going to be very particular about the drum parts of his songs. He was always going to be like right on top of that it had to be right on key. And this is great. This is a great song. I liked it. Really, really gritty sound once it hits the chorus, and I liked it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's an awesome album, and I think it's one of those albums that a lot, maybe like a non-fan wouldn't really know much about. It didn't really get a lot of attention, but it is a real underrated album. I will be mentioning 2 songs from that album, 2 different ones actually later on. But yeah, when I did my ranking, that was my number 1, because it was like, it's like a really great start to finish album, man.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we? Number 6. So I have a kind of like a more heavier song, "Give Me Stitches" from There's Nothing Left to, what's it called? There's Nothing Left to Lose.
Yeah.
1999. Another one of those grunge songs. I really like the drum beat in that one. Lots of loud guitars, and I think like this is the album where the band starts to kind of move away from that like grunge sound, and they kind of like start finding their own sound with that more like arena rock, and they kind of like finding they're coming into their own on this album. And "Give Me Stitches" is just a great song, and I just really like the guitar riff in this one. So that's a really good one. Yeah.
So I got to go back and listen to that one. I can't remember that song, actually. I'm going to have to go back and listen. Sometimes, you for some reason it doesn't resonate on the first couple listens. You got to go back.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
I've got number 6. I've got basically David Grohl's solo album, the first album. Yeah, that's essentially what it was. I mean, basically,
it is pretty much just. Yeah.
He pulled a Prince and basically played all the instruments on there, and mixed everything himself, and put it all back in together. Yeah. And it's Big Me. I thought that it's just one of those albums. It seemed like a track that kind of, it was like him just trying to come to terms with who he was going to be outside of being in Nirvana. Yeah. He's trying to find his identity on this album quite a bit. And but you could still, there's still parts in there that, this song in particular still feels like a second side of a Nirvana album to me. Yeah, but you can still feel like there was some stuff in there, and I thought it was a catchy little tune. I wanted to put something from their first album, since I couldn't really. You had the other one, the Easy Target one, that probably could have made it as well. I mean, but
yeah, that was one of the deeper ones. But yeah, that was one of the big hits. I think that one that they did the music video, right, when they're doing like the
yes,
Mentos.
It was, yeah.
It
was only it's only a 2-minute track. It's not very long. It's a little over 2 minutes.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Not very long at all. So that's my number 6.
Yeah, that's cool. And yeah, that would be an honorable mention for me as well. Okay, so where are we? Okay, so number 5. So I like to go for the heavy stuff. I chose Stacked Actors, and also from There's Nothing Left to Lose album. Really a heavy song, and I think this is either the first or second song in the album, but it does have that like garage rock sound. It just like brings back that grunge sound. Again, it does have that like Nirvana sound as well, with the clean burst and the heavy chorus, and it just just like the opening riff, the opening guitar tone to the song, it's just really different. It's really distorted, really deep. This could be like their like heaviest song like they've ever done, but I guess it's kind of a deep cut. I think you have to be if you do like the heavier songs, this probably would have stood out. But it's called Stacked Actors from There's Nothing Left to Lose. That's my number 5. Yeah.
That's interesting. Wow.
No, I always go for the metal stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I've got this is the song that when I first did the list and I listened for the first couple of weeks, I'm like, I don't think this song is going to make it. And I know it's like one of their most popular songs, but we kind of delayed this list, and we finally got back together after weeks. I went back and listened to the list a couple more times. And now the song's all the way up here at number 5, right? Yeah. I've got Everlong. Okay. And I think, it's weird how this track kind of grew on me a little bit, but I'm gotta tell you, I think it's like the best drumming. It's the song that has their best drumming that they've ever put out. And I watched the live version of this, and then I watched the live version where he lets this 11-year-old girl play drums for the song while he's actually singing. Yeah. Where he had to actually admit that this girl was probably a better drummer than he was. I thought that was really funny. But I think this, to me, the reason I put it this high, it's like it just kind of grew on me. It had a very heavier sound. I think the title of the song was only mentioned once or twice actually throughout the whole song itself. It wasn't like it was a repeated type of thing. And I think it's the drumming that did it for me. Really tight drumming, really good drumming.
Yeah, cool. That's a great song. I will be mentioning that pretty soon in my on my list.
It's up there, isn't
but
it?
But I do have when I get to it, I'll talk about it. But I do kind of have like a different take on it. But anyway, let me move on. So number 4. Let me some water.
All right.
I have These Days from Wasting Light. This one, really great song. It's one of those slow builders, like we were talking about how they have like the clean guitars, the clean singing, like that. But then once it gets into the chorus, it kind of gets like heavier again. But it's a very like catchy song. It's it does have that like like a pop sound, almost very memorable song, and it is probably one of the ones that did stand out on that Wasting Light album, even though that is a great album all the way through.
Yes.
But that's what I have for number 4, so that's why I like that one.
I'm gonna have that much higher.
Okay,
I'll talk
cool.
about that when I get there, actually. So I really like that song. I like that album. I like that song a lot. Number 4 for me, I don't know whether, I consider it a deeper cut because I like to play these lists. Like I'll play this list for my wife, and my wife will go, I've never heard of these songs. And I know that's when I made a good list.
Yeah.
Because then I know I went deep. I didn't just like go for the hits or anything like that. So I picked Aurora. I thought it was Aurora. It's a really deep track. He's reminiscing about growing up on a street back in Seattle. He was talking about. Okay. It's actually on Nothing Left to Lose. That's the album that it's on.
Okay.
Yeah, check it out. It's very, I like it because he's just like I said, he's reminiscing. He's talking about, hell yeah, remember Aurora.
Yeah.
It's really great stuff. He's just kind of talking about his time back on living on that street and how simple everything was before they made it into a big deal and everything.
Yeah.
So if you listen to it, it's probably a little over 5 minutes, but it doesn't feel like it's that long, and it's really catchy. You should go back and listen to that song.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have to go back because it's one that like it didn't like stick with me, but yeah, we'll go back and listen to that one next. Okay, moving on. So my number 3, another one from Wasting Light. I chose Rope. I really like the echo effects in the opening riff for the guitar riff. That's really cool sound. But this is another one of those, I guess it's on the heavier side. Has those like heavy guitar chords, and I really like how they do like these like layers of like guitars. And that particular album, they recorded that with like just like basic like analog equipment. They didn't really use any like digital equipment for this. And and it's really cool just how they like just like layered the different tracks of the guitars, and really cool, catchy song. Really like the vocals in it, and so that's my number 3. Really great song from Wasting Light. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you really like that album too. I like this.
Yeah, I chose actually 2 from
that. I've got number 3. I've got what I consider their heaviest song is The Pretender. Especially the chorus. The chorus, it just comes in so thrashy. It's almost punk like at the speed and veracity in which they're playing their instruments and stuff. I didn't think I was gonna like this song, honestly. When I heard it the first time, I'm like, wow, this isn't anything like I thought it was gonna sound like, because it was such a massive hit. I couldn't think that John Q. Public was gonna latch on to this song of all their songs. But it's a great song. And I think it really kind of established them like that's like a true rock band sound that they had that was really removed from Nirvana all completely. This didn't sound anything like the grunge stuff at all, but did sound like a great rock band. So I got it that high. And what's funny is that I remember reading all the stuff about his studio is just essentially his basement was made into a studio, and to dampen the sound, he put like sleeping bags up on the wall.
Oh, that's cool.
That's how he like made everything kind of soundproof and keep the sound contained within. That was really interesting. I was like, wow. I guess when you got to go cheap, you got to go cheap.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great song. That probably would have been like one I just like missed my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the drumming in the intro, when he did it's the clean part, but then like the saw like the pounding of the drums, really like that sound. Okay, my number 2 is the one you said before, Everlong, but I actually like the acoustic version better than the electric one.
Oh wow, okay.
You probably heard the acoustic version, right? Like
yes, I have. Yeah,
yeah. They actually used to play it on the radio back in the day as well. I mean, the original version is great, like you said, with a really great drumming. But I just like how like. I'm also a big fan of those like old like MTV Unplugged, like Nirvana Unplugged and Alice in Chains. I really like when they take like an electric song and they strip it down just to the bare basics. And this, I believe, it's just not even the band. I think it's just Dave. It's just him singing and playing the guitar, as far as I know. But I always liked it. I always thought it was just the original is great because it has that like that like great sound, the great kind of almost like the grunt sound. Like I said, the drum fills on the original is really great.
Right.
But I really like the stripped down version of the acoustic version. So that's why my number 2 is going to be the acoustic version, even though I do like the electric.
Well, at least we both at least had it. I don't care whether it's the rock version or the acoustic version.
Yeah.
Maybe okay. Number 2 for me, maybe it's a cliche, but I actually like Learn to Fly. I think it's a really good song. I like the fact that it's got a very rhythmic chorus. I mean, they do go heavy on the chorus, but this is probably the least heavy on the chorus that they that I remember them going to, where it was much more rhythmic than it was just loud. In some sense. I really do enjoy the pedal effects on the guitar in the song. They're really, really nice, and they work really great in unison with the drumming. Again, I always keep having to think I've got to go back and find out whether David wants to play the drums on some of these tracks or whether he lets the Hawkins guy do it, because sometimes you listen and you go, yeah, I can tell there's a big difference. There's a big difference from when Hawkins plays and when David plays. You can always tell. Yeah. So I said number 2, I've got Learn to Fly.
Yeah, Learn to Fly. That's another good one. That probably would be an honorable mention. That was from what album is that from? Is that from Color and Shape or?
That's nothing left to lose. Yeah,
there's nothing left to lose. Yeah, that's a really good album. A lot of good songs in that album. Okay, we're down to number 1, and I have Times Like These. That was your number 10.
Oh wow!
I just really like this song. It's just a really great melody. And there are actually 2 versions. There's an acoustic version on one of the EPs that they have online for streaming. They did it acoustically. I like that one, but I like the electric version. It just has it's just very catchy. It's a really well-written pop song. It does have like some grunge elements in it as well. There are some like heavy parts in the song, like kind of like towards the end of it. But I just really great song. And that One by One album, I like that one a lot. I think that's one of those albums that I've watched different rankings and I've seen that ranked very low, but I like this album a lot.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I've got, from my number 1, first I'll tell you, like the 2 on the outside looking in, and I had from Nothing Left to Lose, I had Next Year. That's on the outside looking in. And also from their greatest hits, it only appeared on their greatest hits, Friend of a Friend, which was kind of like his little tribute to Kurt, where he was talking about their time that they shared in an apartment together. That song, where it only appears on the greatest hits. I thought it was it's a nice little song that he had about them. So I had that like right on the outside looking in. I was thinking about having it. But my number 1 is These Days from Wasting Light. I mean, it's my favorite. It's my favorite album. I think it's a great song. What I liked most about it, it starts with that slow little rhythmic, catchy thing that they have. But did you notice, like on the first couple steps, he's playing the drums and then he'll stop, and then the rhythm the rhythm guitar is still playing and he comes back in again. So it's like down, 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 down. And then he stops and then down, 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 comes back in again. I thought that was kind of cool. And it kind of caught my attention right away. I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. And but then the song has that slow build like they always do in their songs. They slow build and then it gets very heavy and very rockish once it hits the chorus. And I agree with you. I think it's maybe their most underrated album. I got to think it is because I think it's their best album. And everybody talks about the color and the shape. Yeah. Everybody does that as being their best album, but I don't know. I would have to disagree. Not that it wouldn't be up there, but I think maybe the color and the shape maybe be my third favorite album of theirs. Maybe.
Yeah, well, I did my ranking. I think I had a maybe around second or maybe third, but yeah, that Wasting Light album, like the people, like if you give the album a chance, you probably would like it. I mean, it's just such a really great album. And back in 2011, I think, back then I really wasn't, that much into music at that time. I was kind of like doing other things. But when I discovered this album, actually, when I found that I watched this documentary on Netflix, and they were kind of talking about how they recorded the album. And I know like Chris Novoselic, he did he came in on one song, and Bob Mould, you know that song, Hey Rosemary?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Bob Mould did some backing vocals on that one, and pretty cool documentary. If you can find it on streaming, I recommend it. Oh, good. And after I went and listened to the album, I'm like, this is a really good one. So definitely Wasting Light.
So how many songs did you have after Wasting Light? I think you only had the one, right?
No, I had two from Wasting Light.
No, I mean afterwards. How many songs did you have after that album? For albums that they released? I think you only had one song, didn't you?
Oh, the album's released after. Yeah, I had a run from Concrete and Gold. I didn't have anything from the new album, even though I do like it. I thought it was pretty cool. It was kind of short, but
yeah. I don't know. For some reason, it just didn't hit me at all. For some reason, I don't know what it was, but all my albums were all on 6. All my choices were all within 6 albums. They're all like right together too.
Yeah,
everything like 1996, 2000.
Yeah, because that was Wasting Light was 2011.
Yeah,
and then they did it was Sonic Highways. That was the next one, and then they did 3 more after Wasting Light. But yeah, you're right. I only had one song from after that album.
Cool. I liked it.
Okay.
This was a fun list.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, this band, this is one of those bands, like when they first came out, I used to kind of like them, but I didn't really go out and buy their CDs. I like the singles. I used to buy a couple of those singles like on iTunes, when you used to you can download them for like $1 a piece. There were a couple songs that I used to download it, but a band, I didn't really get into them until recently, where I just started listening to all their albums. But I've always liked the singles,
Right.
That's cool.
I like it.
So, so that's cool. Let me do the outro. I'll stop recording then. Okay. So anyone watching, please subscribe to Brian. Any recommendations for us to do in the upcoming weeks? Any bands? Throw them in the comment section. And thanks for watching. And we'll be back in a few weeks. So see you all. Let me ask them.